If you struggle with negative self talk, and this negative self talk is reducing the chances of you experiencing the best life that you could possibly experience as it relates to health, then this episode is for you. So, I went through most of my life with someone telling me that I was overweight, and I still hear these words now. And unfortunately, because of that, I started to embody this. I started to embody these words. It became my truth. It became my belief system. And it wasn't until, and it's funny because when I was younger and I would hear this all the time, I would have one person to say, "Oh, you're not fat. Don't listen to that. You're not fat." And this was a family member that I didn't see often, but it's like, "Oh, you're not fat." By the way, side note, I'm not throwing anyone under the bus here. I'm just telling my story. But I would hear, "Oh, you're not fat," but I heard that other voice so loud and clear that I would listen to the, "You are fat. You are overweight. You need to do something about yourself. Your body is not good enough." And it wasn't until I had my daughter, and my daughter was old enough to talk and to talk back to me, when I would look in the mirror and say, "Oh my gosh, I'm so fat. Oh my gosh, I look terrible." It wasn't until she got to the age of understanding to give me feedback that I started to sit with the concept of what she was saying, which was, "Why are you saying this to yourself? Why are you talking to yourself like this?" And it's unfortunate because it really took a very, 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 very long time to change the self talk that I had, that I changed the self talk that I had been practicing and believing for so long. As a matter of fact, I really didn't start to change the self talk probably until about this year. Well, I had a taste of it back in 2021 when I started to work on myself, and life was a little bit better. There was a little more room and space in my mind to explore some things through journaling and explore some ideas and understand my behaviors a little bit more. But um, it's still because I did not continue the journaling process. And when I lost all the weight, I was like, "Hey, okay, back to my old ways." I didn't continue to reflect. And this last time, like I said, if you've watched my other videos, um, I started, I restarted my fitness journey, which at this point, I don't even know if I should just call it that. I just restarted a journey of taking better care of myself, um, back in February of last year. And one thing I knew I wanted to return to was journaling. And that's when I really started to um, explore this self talk thing. Between that and, going to therapy, um, those two things really helped me reflect on what I was saying to myself, as well as other means of information that kind of helped me understand who I am and why I function this way. So, to make a long story short, I started journaling again within this last year, and it really shined the light on my self talk, the things that I was saying to myself. And I had resolved that I want to love myself like God gave me. Side note, we go through this life looking in the mirror, hating what we see. And this is not everyone, this is a group of people. And if you resonate with this, if this resonates with you, then you know who you are. We go through this life looking in the mirror, hating what we see, constantly ridiculing every little terrible, what we think is terrible detail about ourselves. My stomach is too big. My butt is too big. Well, nowadays, having a big butt is a thing. My legs are too big. My arms are too big. And then we have these constant reinforcements from people around us. I was actually with a family member one time, And this person didn't know any better, or he should have, but let's just say he didn't. And he's like, "Dang, your arms are big." What? Why would you say that? Why would you say that to me? And we get these negative reinforcements. We get this negative talk from people around us, as well as so it's reinforcing what we already think that's negative about ourselves. And then we look in the mirror and we just constantly reinforce this, and we speak it out loud, and it's going in our brain. Our brains are powerful. Our brains believe what we tell it. So if we look in the mirror and we tell ourselves that we're not good enough in one way, shape, or form, whether we're saying that we look bad or whatever, our brains believe that. And this is how we respond through life to outside sources, as though we're not good enough and we need to lose weight and we need to do something to make ourselves look better. So I went on a tangent there for a second, but the point of what I'm saying is this: self talk is something that it's very subtle. And if you want to get healthier, and this is what I've learned in this last year, if you want to become a healthier person, if you want to reduce pain, and this is the part of health, in my personal opinion, if you want to reduce inflammation, I think the first step, if you want to reduce weight, and by the way, reducing weight can help reduce pain and inflammation. If you want to do all of this and more, I think the first step is, what are we saying to ourselves? Because whatever we're saying to ourselves on a regular basis, it is either expediting the process, or it's slowing it down or stopping it completely based on what we want. So if we want to see the healthiest outcomes for ourselves, we have to find a way to articulate that and speak that to ourselves regularly. We can't fall into the trap of believing two conflicting ideas. You're going to choose one, whether you know it or not. You have to be intentional about the words that you speak to yourself when you look in the mirror. And I'm saying that to myself. I've learned this over this last year. And again, while I haven't lost any significant amount of weight, I have seen positive changes as a result of speaking positively into my own life. And if you can't do that, A, you can't expect for anybody else to do it. And B, when other people speak negatively, you will take it personal. So, are you self sabotaging by what you say to yourself on a regular basis? And if so, I would implore you to take a pen and paper and write down those negative thoughts and turn them into something positive. So, for example, if my negative thought is, this is one negative thought I actually had. And I don't even want to really say it was a negative thought. It was just something I experienced. I had really bad knee pain back in 2025 when I first started working out again. I mean, it was to the point that it was like almost hard to walk. Okay. And I'm only 42 years old. And I really just stopped focusing on the pain, because a part of me kind of knew that, all right, well, part of this is because I don't move enough. So let me start moving. And the other thing is just making sure that when I move, as I move, I'm moving appropriately. So I made sure any trainers that I had, they knew that, hey, I have some sensitivities and I'm all for working out, but I definitely need to be very intentional about preventing injury. And so I stopped saying, as I walked around the apartment and as I walked, blah, 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 wherever I went, I stopped saying, oh, my knees hurt so bad. Oh my gosh. Oh, my knees hurt so bad. Like I stopped saying that. And one of the things that I replaced, one of the sentences or the comments or whatever you want to call it that I replaced that that with was, I am in the best shape of my life. I am the healthiest version of me. Um, Pain is being reduced from my body. I don't even know if I really said that, but I definitely said I am functioning in optimal health. That was a big one. That was a big one that I said throughout the year last year. I am functioning in optimal health. So, like, affirmations really are, I know it's like very woo woo, and a lot of people probably feel weird saying it, but it's almost like you just have to retrain your thinking, especially when you've been indoctrinated to believe a certain thing about yourself, whether it was directly said to you or indirectly through, social media or whatever the case is. The psychology behind fitness is real. And part of the psychology, in my personal opinion, is our self talk. So that's all I had to say for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please like and subscribe. If you found any value in it, comment. Let me know what you think. What is your self talk? What is the main thing that you feel that you say, that you've noticed that you say on a regular basis, that could be sabotaging your efforts? And your ability to experience the healthiest version of you. Let me know.